I am really excited, and I didn't come here for the spotlight. I didn't come here to have more eyes. I came here to win. And I really do think that with the group that we have, that we are going to win. We are going to get a championship sooner.
Sophie Cunningham sits down for her first interview with the Indiana Fever. Her new jersey already sold out worldwide. The veteran looks directly into the camera and says something that has Fever fans cheering and Caitlin Clark haters scrambling. I think we are going to win a championship.
This opportunity came about when I first heard about it. I was so excited. Like I just knew that it was my time to get outside my comfort zone.
This isn't just another roster addition. It's a statement. The same Indiana Fever that Sheryl Swoopes claimed nobody wants to play for has now assembled a lineup featuring Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hull, Natasha Howard, DeWanna Bonner, Sydney Colson, and now Cunningham. The enforcer has arrived, and this interview reveals exactly how she plans to help silence the noise around the most-watched team in the WNBA. Are you ready? Let's go.
I just kind of heard what they were doing, and of course you have Caitlin, who's drawn eyes from all around the world. That was like, why would I not? Why not be a part of something great? You go from Diana, and now you're going to a team who is going to be a contender for a championship. And so I'm stoked about this year. I'm really excited for the players, but I'm also excited just for the community and the relationship and the culture that you guys have here.
Remember when Sheryl Swoopes boldly claimed that nobody wants to play with Caitlin Clark? Well, that narrative just got shattered into a million pieces. Swoopes stood before the basketball world and declared with absolute certainty that stars would be running away from Indiana like it was on fire. Nobody wants to play with Caitlin Clark, she proclaimed, as if she had personally polled every player in the league. It was a statement that echoed through social media, sports talk shows, and became the rallying cry for the anti-Clark crowd.
What it do, peeps? Sheryl Swoopes is been missing. Sheryl Swoopes is MIA. They got a APB out for Sheryl Swoopes. If you see Sheryl Swoopes, she did a lot of talking a few months ago about the Indiana Fever, the locker room environment, how people didn't want to play there, how people wanted to leave.
But here's where reality comes crashing in. While Swoopes was busy making these claims, the Indiana Fever front office was quietly assembling what might be one of the most impressive off-season rosters in recent memory. They didn't just add one veteran star. They brought in an entire constellation of them, all with significant playoff experience. Natasha Howard, a multi-time champion with defensive prowess, few can match. DeWanna Bonner, bringing her scoring touch and leadership. Sydney Colson, adding depth and experience to the backcourt. And then came Sophie Cunningham.
We're going to be a phenomenal group. I'm excited for all the other pieces that came in this offseason with me. And so when I really see what I can do here, I'm confident in that, but I really am just excited for the big picture of what everyone brings to this team.
When Cunningham sat down for her first interview with the Fever, you could feel the excitement radiating through the screen. This wasn't someone who had been forced to join a team against her will. This wasn't someone dreading the prospect of playing alongside the phenom that is Caitlin Clark. Instead, Cunningham's enthusiasm was palpable as she laid out exactly why she chose Indiana.
The style of play that you guys are playing here, that Stephanie is going to bring here, it's run and gun, it's shooters, it's emotion offense, and so my eyes lit up like a Christmas tree.
The style of play particularly excited her, perfectly aligning with her strengths as a player. She didn't hesitate or equivocate. She embraced everything about her new team, including the opportunity to play alongside Clark. For anyone paying attention, this was the most direct contradiction possible to Swoopes' claims.
I played in emotion offense my whole life outside of kind of Phoenix. You know, it was more one-on-one and let people do their thing, and if you're open, you're open. Where I like to move, I like to run, I like to dribble and kick, you know what I mean? And so when you see Caitlin, when you see Aaliyah Boston, she's a great passer. Kelsey Mitchell's a great passer, that if you move and you make the great cut, you're gonna get the ball. And I think that just helps everybody, free up. And so I like to run. I kind of get the name Forrest Gump sometimes. And I'm like, hey, if you guys want to call me, that's fine. I'll beat you down the court every time. But I really am just excited for the style of play and what I can bring to the table for this team.
What makes this even more remarkable is how fans responded. Cunningham's jersey sold out almost immediately after her arrival was announced. Concrete evidence that not only do players want to join this Indiana revolution, but fans are equally thrilled about these new additions to the Clark-led squad.
I really am just excited about not only what I can bring to the table, but as a whole, our versatility as a team is going to be huge.
The most telling moment came when Cunningham addressed her motivation directly. "I didn't come here for the spotlight. I didn't come here to have more eyes. I came here to win." In that single statement, she demolished the entire premise of the anti-Clark narrative. The idea that players would avoid Indiana because they didn't want to be overshadowed by Clark was revealed as complete fiction.
Here, I've already been motivated. Like, I know this is a new, fresh start. I'm not in a box anymore. Like, I can finally be free and be in an offense that I think that I can really thrive in and be around players who our mind is strictly on basketball and winning. So I'm just re-motivated. I'm refocused. I feel like I'm back, to be honest. I got a nice tan and that always makes me feel good too. And so being here, honestly, it just makes me want to work even harder than what I've been doing.
Instead, what Cunningham made clear is that serious players, championship caliber players, see something building in Indiana. They see a young superstar with generational talent. They see Aaliyah Boston developing into a dominant force. They see Kelsey Mitchell's scoring ability. They see Lexi Hull's hustle. And they see an opportunity to create something special. This wasn't a reluctant arrival. This wasn't someone making the best of a bad situation. This was an accomplished veteran excited about Indiana, praising her new teammate, and boldly stating championship expectations in her very first interview. You couldn't script a more perfect refutation of Swoops' claims if you tried.
I am just so excited to be here. I'm from the Midwest, and so for me to kind of get back to my roots and be close to my family, I'm so excited. Like, when I say that I am refreshed and I am motivated and I just like kind of feel like my spark is back, everyone thinks I've been feisty. You've not even seen the feisty side of me yet. So this should be really fun. But for me, I'm excited to be closer to home. I'm excited to deep dive into the community of Indiana. I've already met a lot of really cool people. I'm excited to inspire the next generation of young boys and girls around here, get to know the community more.
When Cunningham talks about Indiana, she doesn't sound like someone who was forced to join against her will. She sounds like someone who has found her basketball home, a place where her skills, personality, and championship ambitions all align perfectly. While Cunningham found her perfect basketball home in Indiana, Caitlin Clark found something she desperately needed last season: a bodyguard. Remember all those cheap shots Clark took as a rookie with barely any response from teammates? The Chicago Sky's Kennedy Carter incident was just the tip of the iceberg in what became open season on the league's brightest star.
Clark. I mean, that's clearly a foul, which was called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary? Kennedy Carter.
Throughout her rookie campaign, Clark repeatedly picked herself up off the hardwood after hard fouls, flagrant contact, and unnecessary physicality. Opponents quickly realized there was no enforcer stepping in to make them pay for targeting Indiana's franchise player. The Fever roster, packed with young talent but lacking veteran muscle, could only watch as their superstar weathered collision after collision.
I'm a little bit sassy sometimes, which people don't like, but I love. My teammates always love. And to be honest, I spread the court. Like, I can shoot the ball. And when you have playmakers who are quick, who are great passers with Kelsey Mitchell too, it lets them do their thing. And then the defense draws in and you're just ready to shoot. And so, I think that I'll bring a lot to this team. But at the end of the day, I want to be a good leader. I want to be a great teammate. I want to bring the culture piece and make sure our egos are put aside and that we're all in here to win. And I think that's going to be pretty easy with the group that we have.
Enter Sophie Cunningham, the WNBA's most notorious agitator, and exactly what Clark has been missing. Cunningham isn't just coming to Indiana to shoot threes. She's bringing her reputation as one of the league's fiercest competitors, someone who won't hesitate to get in an opponent's face. When Sophie describes herself as sassy on the court, that's putting it mildly. Opposing players know exactly what they're getting: a player who thrives in confrontation and protects her teammates like family.
I'm just excited to kind of maybe be that calm piece when it needs to be calm, that feisty, sassy, stick up for my teammates when it needs to be that. And so just kind of reading the room and, whatever the team needs that day, being able to provide.
"I'm going to stick up for my teammates," Cunningham declared in her first Indiana interview. "I'm a fierce competitor, I want to win, and I hate to lose. That mindset transforms the Fever from an exciting but pushover team into one that opponents will think twice about messing with.
When it comes to being on the court, I really am. I'm spicy, I'm fiery, I'm the ultimate competitor, and I'm really just trying to do whatever it takes for my team to win. A lot of people have a lot to say about it, but honestly, any teammate that you've asked that maybe had opinions about me before, once for teammates like, oh, like we love you as a team. I'm like, duh, I'm not a mean person. But to be honest, I think that it could be a game changer. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna hit my threes, I'm gonna do all that, but just from a young age, my parents were like, go be the hardest worker. Don't let anyone outwork you, but also enjoy it. Like, you work your tail off. So when it's time to play a game, go laugh, go smile, go yell if you want to, go be passionate.
What makes Cunningham such a perfect Clark protector isn't just her willingness to defend teammates. It's her relentless motor. She nicknamed herself Forrest Gump because of how she outworks and literally outruns opponents on both ends of the floor. When Clark is running the break, Cunningham will be right there beside her. Not just as a shooting option, but as a physical presence ready to challenge anyone who tries to impede the Fever's offense.
I learned so much out in Phoenix. I was really blessed to have some really great teammates. You get to learn from the GOAT, Diana Taurasi. You've had a lot of people going in and out of that program. They've won championships, and so there's just a lot to learn. And
Sophie's basketball education came from the WNBA's ultimate competitor, Diana Taurasi. During her time in Phoenix, Cunningham absorbed lessons in toughness that can't be taught in practice drills. Taurasi showed her that a championship mentality requires more than just skill. It demands an edge, the willingness to do whatever it takes to win, even if that means getting under opponents' skin or taking a hard foul to send a message.
People say I'm 3-and-D, which I've never really considered myself a defensive player, but I think the past couple of years, I have been. I've been able to get my body right. I've been able to bang down low and hold my own. And so I just think when you can get players who are versatile on not only the offensive end, but the defensive end, that's where you win your championships. That's where you make a statement. And so I'm excited to kind of get down and start working hard on the defensive end. I think as a team, we all have to kind of have that mentality, especially if we're trying to get to where we want to go.
What really sets Cunningham apart is her defensive versatility. At 6 feet 1 inch with quick feet and a strong basketball IQ, she can legitimately guard positions 1 through 4. This creates numerous advantages for Indiana's defense, allowing them to switch freely without creating mismatches. When opponents try setting screens to hunt Clark on defense, Cunningham can seamlessly take the more dangerous assignment, sparing Clark the physical toll of guarding bigger players.
Length causes some issues sometimes. With the bigger people, I can get into their knees just because I kind of have that strength. But for me, I think that's an area where I could actually improve on. Like, it's funny to me that people are like, oh, she can play some defense. I'm like, oh, I mean, I struggle with that. I know Stephanie White's going to be on me about, getting better in that area. But for me, that's an exciting thing. A big shot is a great energizer. A great pass is a great energizer. But when you can get 3 stops in a row and you get the crowd into it and you frustrate the other team, like, that's the toughest stuff that I like.
The Fever's front office didn't just add shooting when they acquired Cunningham. They addressed their biggest vulnerability from last season. The days of teams freely taking runs at Clark are over. The first time an opponent delivers a cheap shot this season, they'll find themselves face-to-face with a player who has made a career out of not backing down from anyone.
It's okay to be a girl, but also go out there and kind of have a feisty mentality, and it's okay to sweat, and it's okay to yell and kind of, have that grit about you. And so I've never had to try. It's just kind of who I am. And so I'm excited to kind of bring that energy to this arena.
Sophie Cunningham's sharp comments about feeling free in Indiana reveal a deeper story that nobody's been talking about. When she stated, "I can finally be free and be in an offense that I think I can really thrive in." She wasn't just talking about basketball systems. She was lifting the curtain on what appears to be a fractured Phoenix Mercury locker room that had been holding her back.
I promise you that I'm just ready to win. I'm ready to win. I'm ready for y'all to be there. But like I said, you guys haven't even seen feisty yet.
The most telling part of Sophie's interview wasn't about defensive schemes or shooting percentages. It was her pointed comment about wanting teammates whose minds are strictly on basketball and winning. This wasn't a throwaway line. It was a direct shot at the situation she left behind. Reading between the lines, Sophie is painting a picture of a Phoenix team distracted by off-court drama and personal agendas rather than championship aspirations.
Kind of come into something that's refreshing, that people's minds are just wanting to win. People are willing to work hard. It's a younger group. And so to me, that's refreshing. And now you just have to put all the puzzle pieces together, but you need someone to do that. And so I do know that I'm not old, but I'm also not young. So I'm kind of in that middle group. I still have a lot to learn, and I want to be a sponge. I want to continue to learn and continue to grow. But I also think that I had Diana to take me under her wing. And who better else to teach you the ropes in the W than Diana Taurasi? And so for me to come in here knowing what I've been taught, I kind of want to spread it around, especially with how talented this group is.
What makes Sophie so valuable to the Fever isn't just her toughness. It's the championship mindset she absorbed while playing alongside Diana Taurasi. I want to be a good leader. I want to be a great teammate. I want to bring the culture piece, Sophie explained in her interview. She's not just bringing jump shots to Indiana. She's bringing the winning mentality that turned the Mercury into perennial contenders.
It's huge to have those relationships with not only your coaching staff, but with every single teammate. You don't have to be best friends, but you have to have each other's backs and you have to get along. And I think that's something that I love is the culture, because we're going to win games, we're going to lose games, hopefully not too many, but you're going to remember these types of moments. And so if you can really get to know and get that chemistry off the court and know your teammates, how they tick, what doesn't make them tick, I just think that's just a recipe for success on the court.
This culture-building expertise is exactly what the young Fever squad needs. Sophie's vision for Indiana's team environment, where relationships matter and egos don't, provides the perfect complement to Clark's talent and Boston's potential. She's essentially bringing a blueprint for success that's been battle-tested at the highest levels of the WNBA.
There's more eyes on the W more than ever. There's more eyes around the world on this team more than any team, I think, in the whole entire world. And so I think just like embracing it, but making sure that we stay tight-knit. I'm a very big culture and relationship type of person. And so I think there's going to be a lot of noise, but if this culture right here in this locker room can be good, I think we're going to be all right.
What many fans don't realize is that Sophie brings media savvy that extends beyond the hardwood. Her experience as a Phoenix Suns analyst has made her comfortable in front of cameras and engaging with the media. Crucial skills in today's sports landscape, where visibility drives opportunity. This background makes her particularly valuable to a Fever organization looking to maximize its newfound spotlight.
How valuable is that experience that you have, that not only you bring, but Dawana brings, Natasha brings, Sydney brings? There's a ton of playoff experience coming in here.
It's huge. And I think any player that you talk to around the league is, you can have the best team, but if you don't have playoff experience, that other team is going to win the majority of the time.
Perhaps most importantly, Sophie brings playoff wisdom to a team hungry for postseason success. With 15 playoff games under her belt, including a finals appearance, she understands what it takes when the pressure intensifies. You can have the best team, but if you don't have playoff experience, that other team is going to win the majority of the time, Sophie stated clearly in her interview. This perspective is invaluable for a young Indiana squad with championship aspirations.
I think they were really smart about bringing people who are experienced that. They know that we have the firepower to get there, but now you need the experience and the knowledge and sometimes just like the calmness of how to kind of adjust through playoffs and the mindset, because it is a different beast. You can have a great regular season, but when it comes to playoffs, it's a shift, right? And if you've never been there, you don't know.
The leadership lessons Cunningham learned from Taurasi, widely considered one of the fiercest competitors in women's basketball history, are now being transplanted to Indiana's locker room. Sophie isn't just talking about winning. She's reinforcing the daily habits, mental toughness, and unwavering standards that championship teams require. By prioritizing basketball focus and eliminating drama, she's creating the fertile ground where championship cultures take root.
You guys were here last year and about how you would be such a great fit for what the Fever are building and the type of player that they need. I'm sure you see it that way. What do you think your fit is here with the Fever?
You know, I just outwork people. I'm the ultimate competitor. I'm a fierce competitor.
Beyond the physical presence Sophie brings to protect her teammates, there's a basketball fit so perfect here that it almost seems unfair to the rest of the league. While her toughness has been the headline grabber, Sophie Cunningham's elite shooting might be the true game changer for Indiana's offensive blueprint. Last season, she connected on 38% of her attempts from beyond the arc, giving the Fever another shooter to surround Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell whenever they get double-teamed.
When you look at this roster from a perimeter shooting perspective, yourself, of course, Caitlin, Kelsey Mitchell, Dawana Bonner, I mean, it feels like there is real weapons in place to be dominant around the three-point line. Is that how you see it?
Absolutely. I mean, anytime you can get more of your teammates being able to shoot the ball at a high percentage from the three-point line, I mean, defenses don't know what to do, because if you come out on us, then we're also going to go right by you. And so for me, I'm biting at the bit. I'm ready for our team to get here. I'm ready for training camp to get here. I just am excited to get started. But I do think that's why we're turning heads. I think the Duana Bonner piece was a huge piece that I think surprised a lot of people. I can't forget about Natasha Howard. Been talking to her for a couple of years about being teammates. And so it's fun that we're both here now. And I think that she brings a very versatile four who can also shoot the three ball.
Remember those frustrating stretches last season when defenses would collapse 3 or even 4 players around Caitlin Clark? When the ball swung to the perimeter, the Fever simply didn't have enough consistent threats to make opponents pay, aside from Lexi Hull and Kelsey Mitchell. That's where Sophie changes everything. In her 2022 campaign, she averaged 12.6 points while shooting a blistering 40% from downtown. Numbers that earned her consideration for Most Improved Player.
Any team that you can have players 1 through honestly 5 who can get the ball and go, I think that's just huge. You don't allow the defense to set up. You allow Caitlin to get off the ball a little bit and go do her thing as a 2. DB bringing the ball up, that's going to cause a lot of issues with her height and the way she shoots the ball. And so for me, if I get it, we're going. Like, we're running and gunning. And I know that we're all kind of on the same page about the offense that we want to run and whatnot. And so I just think the more versatile you can be, that's always a good thing. That's always a blessing on both ends of the floor. If you can do more than just one thing and your whole roster can do that, our depth is crazy this year with our versatility. I don't know. I think that's why we're turning heads. I think that's why people are really keen on us more. And I say us, and it's my first time as a Fever.
No, you can
so
be
now
us.
I can say us.
It's us,
so
yeah.
What makes this pairing so lethal is the perfect stylistic match. Sophie herself couldn't contain her excitement when discussing the Fever's playing style. This is just a new style, and this is the style that I thrive in. When you have people who can shoot the ball, who move the ball, who are running gunners and share the ball, this is the type of offense that I want to be in. For Clark, it means defenders can't sag off their assignments to double-team her, opening cleaner passing lanes and driving opportunities. For Aaliyah Boston, it translates to less crowded paint areas where she can operate one-on-one against interior defenders. And for Kelsey Mitchell, it means another proven shooter to take pressure off her as the team's primary perimeter scoring option.
For me, I'm glad I've experienced that, and you don't know what you don't know. Like, I didn't know those were big deals to be in the playoffs and make a deep playoff run. I know it was a big deal to be in the finals and whatnot, but now kind of being 6 years in the league, you know that you need that type of stuff, and it's just different. You don't know until you don't know. I keep saying that because that's just the truth. And so the more that we can pour into the people who haven't been there and the rookies and all that type of stuff, I just think that's a really, really good thing.
Picture the nightmare scenario for opposing defenses. Clark driving and kicking to Cunningham, spotting up in the corner, Boston establishing deep post position as the defense scrambles to recover, and Mitchell ready to attack closeouts on the weak side. And don't forget the versatility of the team, with Natasha Howard, Duana Bonner, and Lexi Hull always ready to get buckets and defensive stops. That's not just theory. It's an explosion waiting to happen. The analytics support what the eye test suggests. When you pair an elite passer like Clark with an elite three-point shooter getting clean looks, efficiency skyrockets. The shots that were contested last season suddenly become wide open. The passes that were risky now find their targets with room to operate, and the Fever offense, which sometimes stalled in crucial moments, now has another reliable option to turn to.
For me to kind of know what I can do in the league now and have my feet underneath me and be able just to have that confidence, I just think we're at different areas in our career for the better. And so for us to finally come back together, her still scoring at such a high elite level, me still learning from her, I think it's going to be really cool for the rookies and the younger classmen to really kind of learn how champions work. Like, what is their mentality? How are they in the weight room and the training room and all that type of stuff. And so for me, I'm super excited that me and DB are back being teammates. Like I said, we've been texting quite a bit. We're both excited to get up here. And seriously, I think we're both gonna enjoy where we're at in our career, but also we're really looking forward to turning heads in the league where we won a championship. I know she's kind of getting up there in age, and so I know she wants another one. I want my first one. I know the other people around us want one as well. And so I just think that where everyone's mind's at is in a really good spot.
Find Sophie Cunningham's declaration, "I came here to win. We are going to win a championship sooner than later," isn't just confident talk. It's a statement that forever buries the anti-Indiana narrative. While Cheryl Swoops and other critics were busy crafting their "nobody wants to play with Clark" fantasy, the Fever were silently assembling what might become the WNBA's next dynasty. The transformation is complete. What began as a rebuilding project around a rookie phenom has evolved into a legitimate contender with championship DNA flowing through its veins. With veterans who've been there, young stars reaching their prime, and a newfound edge personified by Cunningham's arrival, Indiana has become the destination that supposedly nobody wanted. The WNBA landscape has shifted. Teams aren't asking if Clark can succeed anymore. They're wondering how they'll stop this newly formed powerhouse. And as Sophie proclaimed in her very first team interview, that championship isn't some distant dream. It's coming, and coming soon. Who would dare doubt her now? Let us know how excited you are in the comments, like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.